It's my pleasure to welcome you to the tutorial of this beautiful dress with a halter neck and then this special protruding gathered at the lower part of this dress. If this is the one you're interested in knowing how to achieve, please sit right back, relax and enjoy watching as I take you through the entire process of getting this beautiful dress done without hitches. Without further ado, let's dive right in. Here are all I need for this tutorial, and to get started I measured out all the vertical measurements. Mind you, as you saw from the intro, it is not for like an adult, it's for a teenager per se, and she's skinny. So I measured all the vertical measurements: the chest line, the breast point, the under bust, and then the dress length. Okay, that's where the straight part of the dress ends. That's what I am marking all the way. So the chest line is 5.5, the breast point is 8.5, the under bust is 12, and then the dress length is 21. So those are the lines, the horizontal measurements or the horizontal lines you can see me marking all the way down. So at this point I have to outline them to make them easier when walking. So this is the chest line, the breast point, the under bust, and of course the dress length. Okay, that's before the gathered. So now it's for me to apply the breast distance divided by 2, and the breast distance here is 6 inches divided by 2 would give me 3. So from the center point I mark 3 inches vertically all the way down. After getting the breast distance, next is to mark out the neckline, and I'm going to be using 2 inches for the neck width and then 2.5 inches for the neck depth, and then I connect to give me the neckline like so. So now that the neckline is set, the next thing is for us to start working on the body circumference, and I'll begin with the bust measurement divided by 4, which gave me 7 inches, and I mark that at the chest line. And I come to the breast point, I also mark the bust measurement divided by 4, and at the under bust I also divide by 4, and here's the point. And then at this dress length, remember the straight dress terminated at the hip, so I divide the hip by 4, and those are the points. But before I connect the sides, I'm going to be connecting the halter neck area. So from this chest line that I marked the bust divided by 4 to the neck point, I connect like so. Okay, use a little bit curved area of your curve rule, and then I come to the sides and then I connect all the body measurement that I already marked out. I connect them, and this is the shape that I have. Okay, remember that this is a free dress, so I'm going to be adding the allowance that is going to give me that a little bit of freeness, and I'm going to be adding a total of 2 inches to each of the body measurements. So at the chest line I added 2, the breast point I added 2, the under bust I also added 2, and then at the hip area I added 2, and then I have those points also connected like so. After which I have the armhole also extended to the 2 inches extension that I have by the side, so that's the armhole curve. And then the next thing, the halter neck length, I get the midpoint, which gave me about 3.75. okay, so here is a 3.75 mark, and then I mark 1 inch extend or 1 inch after that point, which is this, and I'm going to be connecting that line to the breast point to give me the breast dart. Okay, so that is the point that you have here. So I have this marked out, and then I'm going to be folding that out. This will also help to eliminate any bulge at the halter neck area that is around the chest area. So after that I connect back my points like so to give me what I had initially. After that I'm going to be holding down with this tape just to make it stay firm. And at this point the front part of the dress is almost ready, if not ready. So this is me drawing out another line so that I can draft the back pattern. So I'm marking out the neckline, which is 2 inches width and then 1.5 inches depth. That's for the back, and then I have that connected. And next thing is to mark out the breast distance divided by 4, which I already did at the front, and that gave me 3. So this is what I connected like so. And then the next thing also, I'm going to be marking out the body measurement divided by 4. So starting with the bust, the under bust, and then the hip. So those are the points. This is just basically what I did at the front part. Those are the things I am doing back at the back. Okay, and I also went ahead to add the 2 inches seam allowance that I added at the front. This is for the freeness and the seam allowance. So I extended the line so that I can get the seam allowance extension marked out. So I have that marked out and that connected. Now it's time for me to mark out the back halter neck. At the front I made it a little bit deeper, but the back is not going to be as deep. That's the cuff is not going to be as deep as that of the front. It's going to be a little bit straight at the back, and this is what it looks like at the back. Okay, so mark the difference, and then also extend the armhole cuff to meet the 2 inches seam allowance that I already did, and this is what it looks like, guys. So the next thing, at the down area or the lower part of the dress, I'm not going to be leaving it this straight. I'm just going to be adding a little bit of curve to it, and to get that done, I came up by 1 inch, and then I connected back to the base of the dress like so. I did that to the front, and at the back I did the same thing, coming up by 1 inch and then connecting back to the base of the dress. Okay, so that's basically what I did here, and now it's time for me to mark out the zipper allowance at the back, which I was supposed to do from the beginning, but it is what it is. Okay, so this is what they both look like, both front and back. And then coming to the back part, to eliminate any zipper bulge, I'm going to be taking out some allowances at the back. So at the under bust area, I came down by 1 inch, and then I connected that to the waist or the side part of the pattern like so. So I'm going to be eliminating this to eliminate any form of zipper bulge. So, and if you notice, there is no dart, like I didn't put in any dart. That's because, one, this dress is a free dress, okay, so there is no need for that. So with that being said, the pattern is ready to be cut at this point, and that's exactly what I am doing. So guys, if you haven't subscribed up to this point and you find this video really helpful, please click on the subscribe button, share, and let me know your thoughts about this beautiful tutorial in the comment section. So guys, this is how the cutting of the front went, and now I proceed to cutting the back pattern. So at this point, I had to extend this zipper bulge elimination part, and then I fold over like so, and then I went ahead to cut the back pattern as well. So after cutting of both the front and back patterns, this is exactly what we have for both the front and then the back, and now our patterns are ready to be used to cut on a fabric. In cutting the fabric, please endeavor to add all your seam allowances at the necessary part. So you can see I'm adding ½ inch to the sides of the fabric, and then at the lower part I added 1 inch. Okay, and in cutting of the whole both front and back, I added the same seam allowances to the side and then to the lower part. And with that, I welcome you to the fun parts of this dressmaking. So to get that, I have this pattern paper I marked out like a square shape kind of. I used 5 by 5 inches to get a square. So for this square that I marked out, I'm going to be folding it into 2 like so, and then at the side, that's the open side of the paper, I mark out 1.5 inches. You can use 2 inches if you want your scallopy gathered or your gathered scallopy to be more pronounced, and then I connect the point to the 1.5 inches like so from the top. You can see that. Just take note of the shape that you can see me drafting out, and I'm going to be cutting that out. So I have that shape cut out. So this is exactly what we're going to be using to cut the lower part of the dress to give us that fun shape that we have at the lower part. So I get my fabric, and I'm going to be folding my fabric, the whole width of my fabric, to give me the width of the pattern paper that I just cut. As you can see the width. So at this point, I'm trying to fold my fabric to give me the exact width of the pattern paper that I have. Can you see? So I'm trying to make sure that the final fold gives me the width, the exact width of the pattern that I want to use. So at this point, hola, yeah, I got it, and now I'm going to be cutting out. But because of the thickness of this fabric, I'm going to be carving out or drafting out the upper part so that it makes it easier for me. I can't cut with the pattern on it because of the thickness of the fabric. So at this point, you can see the struggle of cutting this very thick fabric. So I'm trying to cut out through or along the pattern or the shape that I already drew at the upper part of the fabric. So that's basically what I'm going to be doing at this point. Guys, this was not easy for me at all. I had to, even at a point, I had to go off camera because the struggle of cutting through this thick fabric was a whole lot. Okay, so guys, basically at the end of the day, I succeeded. But it wasn't the easiest thing to do, but at the end of the day, it was worth it. As you can see, I was still trying to make sure that I get the pattern or the shape of the pattern accurate. So I continued with the struggle, and then at the end of the day, I came out victorious, which resulted to this. And at the end of the day, you can see what the whole width of the fabric came out looking like. And now it's time for me to go to the stitching machine and then pull out stitching gathered on the scallopy area of this fabric. So this is me using a gathered stitch to hold it, or to stitch around the scallopy shape of this part of the dress. So I did that from the very beginning to the end. Mind you, this particular fabric, it's like was very long, so the length was, or the width was very long. So I did that all the way from the beginning to the end, after which I went ahead to pull the thread at the back part of this fabric. I'm pulling the thread so that I can start pulling the fabric to get my, or pulling the thread to get my gathered. I did this from the beginning to the end, guys. This was not the easiest part of this dress at all. It wasn't, it's like, not that it was hard, but it was time consuming. So you have to be patient and do not try to be in a hurry, so that you don't cut your thread and then you go ahead to start stitching all the way from the beginning. So just be patient with yourself and your fabric, and you would come out with a very beautiful result at the end of the day. So guys, I put all the way, and as you can see, the result is already showing. I did that from the beginning to the end. After all said and done, this is how beautiful it came out. You can see that everything, that the look, like we actually achieved the look at the end of the day. So this is what your gather should give to you. Can you see that this is what, especially the upper part, can you see that effect at the upper part? So after behind the scenes stitching, this is what the bodies look like. That's the upper part of the dress, the halter, neck area and all that. So this is what we have, and this is what the back part looks like before the fixing of the zipper. And here is the collar. Okay, so if you want a tutorial on the collar or the stitching, please let me know. This basically just how you're going to be going about the fixing of the collar. So this is about the fixing of the collar. Okay, if you want a tutorial on the collar fixing, please let me know in the comment section. So this is just like a short view of, or the short video of how the fixing of the collar looks like. I'm trying to make this video as short as possible. So it's time to be attached to the bodies of the dress, and this is how you go about the placement. Okay, so in stitching, by the time we are stitching, I'm going to be showing you what to do. So in stitching the two parts of the dress together, please, for the gathered part, make sure you stitch at the tip. Okay, please just make sure you stitch at the tip. This is to avoid tampering with those scallopy gathered, because if you try to stitch on them, at the end of the day, that effect and that look that that we are looking for, it's going to be defeated. You get? So make sure you are careful with your stitching so that you don't tamper with the final outlook. So that's basically what you should do to achieve that look. So at the end of the day, guys, this is how it came out, looking very beautiful, very demure, very mindful. And this is my little model for this particular dress. Okay, so guys, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you for watching, and see you in my very next tutorial. Bye.